All right, you're looking at a daily chart of the Nasdaq, and you can see it's been just a really choppy tape. A little frustrating for people who want to see a trend like we had here from May to July, or even a downtrend like we had from July and 19th to August 18th. But now we're just in this chop mode. And you'll see one day it'll be the home builders or construction stocks that are up and everything's down, or the artificial intelligence stocks are up and everything's down, or today it was the oil and gas stocks and everything else is down. And I don't know what to tell you. It's just a really choppy tape. It shows here in the weekly as we get this cup with handle, and here's your pullback here. A nice orderly garden variety pullback of 9%. Now it's just chop city, and you can see had that pink rally day and had a couple weeks of little rally, but then you get this inverted hammer candle, and now this week it's up 12 points, but it was up 156, pulls back 144, and it's just back and forth tape. And tomorrow we get some inflation data, and we just got to get through September. I'm telling you, this type of tape will test your patience and it'll test your discipline. So if you're overly aggressive trying to trade in and out, you're probably going to get chopped up in a tape like this. I want to show you one specific stock that I was watching today, and this is just a microcosm of what the heck's going on here. So you can see this is IONQ, and it's got this 2014 high here, and then it pulls back to the 50 and rallies through it. Now today, it pulls back right here to its 10 and starts showing strength again. And today it looks like it's breaking out of this little base from the 2014 level, which it made on August 1st. So it's been about 6 weeks. Like I say, a lot of these bases are just really short. They need more time. The market needs more time. A lot of these stocks need more time. But it looks like it's really going to break out, make a big move. But you look at the the 5-minute chart here. I was watching this stock. It trades down in the morning. It opens lower down in 1916, and then it turns red to green and makes this big move, and it looks like it's just going to bust out and go up, and it goes up to 2160 by half hour into the session, right? So this is nearly a 13% move here in about a half an hour, and then it gives it all right back in the next hour or less, hour and a half maybe, something like that. So this is, and then it just goes sideways the rest of the day. Just very frustrating. So if you didn't sell here, then you just held on and took all these losses right back to where it was, yesterday or even the day before. And that's just kind of the tape we have. It's really a day trader's tape, and definitely not a trend trader, because you get one stock. Let's go to Tesla. Like yesterday, it did its big move yesterday and gives half of it back today. So it just can't sustain any momentum. But Tesla is looking better. It's above its 50. Apple had their event today, and I thought it would at least close this gap here that it had on that China news from last week. The low is 181.47, but it has not been able to take that out. Today, the high was 180.13. They had the same old warmed up, the same soup warmed up all over again, just another phone. And I don't know, people get tired of their lack of innovation, but they still buy their products. And this is probably going to form a base and trade higher eventually. But it doesn't have any growth. It's just a real sticky ecosystem that people are attached to. So they're going to have recurring revenues. So, but Apple, they need to innovate and bring something to market besides their expensive reality glasses, goggles, whatever it is. Okay, here's Microsoft. Once again, got above the 50. Looked like it was going to make a trend, a move, and then just pulls right back. It can't get out of its own way, and it closed just slightly below its 50 today. So this is just typical action in a real choppy tape. Same with Meta. These things, like I say, though, they need more time. This is not enough time for a proper base to set up. This one is 7 weeks. You're seeing a lot of them at 6 and 7. And that's why I say, if you're trying to be aggressive and trade in this tape, it's going to test your discipline. and your patience, because it's just not ready yet. You're just gonna have to give it a couple more weeks. That's my opinion. It's just not ready yet. These things need time. Google is one that actually, this one is one of the technology, mega cap technology stocks. It had a little base and now is trending higher. It's some sort of a trend. I mean, I know it's down this week, but it's still above its 10 EMA and looks pretty good. Amazon is another one of the stronger ones. And this one's forming a base. Once again, needs more time. I really like this stock, because it showed strength. Well, the Nasdaq was selling off. This one just pulled back to its 50. Now it's forming this base. But once again, what is this, August 1st? Yeah. So it's only been like 6 weeks and they just need more time. NVDA, I was going to put this one on my ready list today because I'm a big believer in, if shorts can't push this thing down on, bad news like that China news and the CoreWeave news that Jensen's faking the numbers. I mean, the shorts are throwing everything at this stock and they can't push it lower, and there's just no volume here. So to me, if it doesn't go lower, it's going to eventually go higher here and find support at the 50. So that one might show up on our ready list here going forward. All right, enough of that nonsense. Today is all about the oil stocks. I could just put 1,000 oil stocks up here. It's ridiculous. Just like shooting fish in a barrel. Just own an oil stock and they're going to go higher. This is Champion X. It's a driller stock. I can't pretend to know about all these oil stocks, but it made a new high today, 38, 37. There's nothing to know here about this oil. They look like they're in a bull market. These are the best looking charts. And you can see how long they've set up in bases here. These are not like the tech stocks. These things have been in bases for months and months. Speaking of which, Chevron, this thing has been, I got to go to the weekly. It's been so long. It's been since March of 2022. So you're looking at 18 months of just chop city. It undercut the prior base, which means this is a stage 1 base, and we have a base on base pattern. So this is like a stage 1B. And this stage is 44 weeks. This stage is 20 weeks. This stage is 9 weeks. So Chevron looks pretty good to me. It's above its 200. It's above all its moving averages. Today was just an inside day. It pulled back to its 21 yesterday. But Chevron looks good. That's a big, like 22% of the XLE. Occidental as well. They had news with Amazon today, and it pulled back to its 21, found support, bounced higher today, up 4%. I got to admit, these stocks are looking great. They're inflationary though, which is something I don't like, but you just got to take what the market gives you. This is CRNX Resources. This is a U.S. exploration and producer stock, and you can see these big bases here. This is what the technology stocks are lacking, these big long bases where you have a lot of sellers. Whoever wants out of the stock is out, and now they build the right side of the base with institutional support. So we'll see here with what else we got. Tidewater, another new high. There's nothing, this is just trending higher. These are beautiful for a trend trader, just pulling back to moving averages, buy the dip mentality like we saw with kids, investors in 2020. Buy the dip. Not working out so great for a lot of stocks, but in these stocks they are. This is Permian Resources going into the mid-cap S&P mid-cap 400 on Monday with Weatherford and a few other stocks, but this one has like a little wedge type pattern here that I kind of like. This is like a foreshadowing here, what I would call foreshadowing, as it made this big move up, then pull back. And so it's like it wants those higher prices, which was, let me get the day in the, was it 1530 on September 5th? So it was not that long ago. So I'm going to keep an eye on that one. OII, Oceaneering International, one of these field and services. I mean, it doesn't matter. Driller, equipment, machinery, field services, they're all going higher. This one made a new high today. It's a little extended. We had this on our watch list a couple weeks ago, but it's extended now. But, making higher prices, what can you say? The couple that we do have on our ready list is DO. And this one's pulling away from its base here, so it's getting a little extended. Right now, it's 7.1% above its 10, so a nice 4.25% move today. But I would still keep my eye on this one as it is consolidating in the base and starting to push away here. INSW, another one. You got to look at the weeklies on these because they've had lots of consolidation. Here you see that the base on base pattern here. You're looking at, nearly a year's worth of setting up here. So, they'll probably take time to pull away too, but definitely a good setup here. And it's pulled back to its 50, closed below it today. INSW, yeah, this is a transportation pipeline stock, closed below it. Interesting. Anyway, so that's kind of a weak stock for oil and gas. And I believe that's it for all the oil and gas. I could do more, but I'm not going to. I was just, they're doing well. Okay. And today they did, and they're set up for further gains. So anyway, I'm going to go to the drug stocks because I like the drug stocks. I like two of them. One is Lilly, making a new high today, like usual, like every other day, over 600 today. Nice. Closed below it, but went above 600. We'll see if that has a problem with that that big round number. Also, NVO pulled back today. Very interesting action with NVO as they the date of record for their stock split, I believe, is tomorrow. And so you can see whoever wanted out of NVO didn't want to participate in the stocks. It's a 2-for-1 split. So if you have 100 shares, you can sell 50 now, and you're going to get another 50 later. So you still have your same 100. I didn't do anything with it. I'm just holding and just going to let it split. So I'm not really a big fan of stock splits, but oh well. Usually it's a sign, the companies are pretty bullish on their, forward looking business prospects that they're splitting their stock. And we know this one definitely has some good prospects. Anyway, it does down 1-something%. Yeah, big deal in volume. So it's, to me, like, this is, again, you can see the long consolidation pattern here, and then it breaks out. Now this pattern here is only like 4 or 5 weeks. So it's just not long enough. It needs more time. That's August 8th. And what's today? September 12th. So it just needs more time. There's nothing wrong with the NVO. And the other one is CRNX, which broke out yesterday on data, news, and followed up today with a 17% new move. That's a nice follow-up with massive volume. So congrats to the longs there. That is a big move. That's a good week when you're up 91% in a week. Yeah. So CRNX, congrats to the longs there. I'm going to move to the some of the retail stocks. It's not all oil and gas. This is Casey's General Store. Had earnings, and they said that their pizza sales drove their earnings. I guess people love their pizza. I don't know. I've never tried Casey's pizza. If you have, I mean, these guys do have the earnings and sales. It's not an expensive stock. But nice move there, 11% with 300% above average daily volume. The other one I was going to mention is Murphy. This is a retail mini market like Casey, but they have this is a gas component. They sell gas there, and this one's kind of setting up in a base too, like a lot of these oil and gas stocks. This kind of trades with the oil and gas and not the retail stocks. So Murphy definitely might be showing up on a watch list here pretty soon. COCO is one that's been on our watch list. This one's getting extended now as it's breaking out of its base. Nice move with volume. I know some people contacted me and said, that they're trimming some today, and that's fine. Looked like a good day to trim. If I take a look at the 5-minute chart here, as it made this big move, yeah, good day to trim. Then it pulled back. It went up to like 33 something, yeah, and then closed at 31.5. So yeah, good day to trim. So congrats to those who are holding. You could sell a third or half or whatever if you bought this thing around 24, 25. That's a nice move. Anyway, CELH is another one of my holdings that there's just nothing to do here really. Just hold it. Pull back to the 10 and look like it found support here. Definitely a change of character here with this one, as you could see it had a base on base pattern, broke out, then went sideways. But the recent breakout, it did not go sideways. It's got a change of trajectory. And, even a, kindergartner could see this trajectory here is flat. And then the trajectory here after that earnings is lower left to upper right. So congrats to Celsius Longs. The other one I like is ELF. This one is on our watch list, and I like this little wedge pattern here. Let the volume dry up. Another one that needs more time. I made that high of 137. And then on the other side, it had a high of 139. So of course, then all the bears come out and say double top. But any cup pattern has a double top shape to it. This one, August 2nd. So, this is only like a 5-week base. It needs more time. But if we can see this thing pull back maybe to its 21 and in the next few sessions or even few weeks and find support and then have a little trampoline effect. But, that's what I want, but you never get what you want. We get what we need, right? A couple of random stocks I'm going to go through. These are on our leaderboard. This is a VRT. This has had a nice run. Needs to pull back. It needs to form a base. Once again, just not enough time here. This one needs more time. Fix. This one's on a tear. It had a little bearish engulfing candle today, but it's still closed, 1% above its 10 EMA. So that one is doing nothing wrong. Quanta Services pulling back. Now it sliced its 21 today, so maybe it'll pull back to its 50 there at 202.59, probably 203 tomorrow or something. So that might be something. Once again, that 206 there is July 25th, so it's only been 6 weeks. These things need more time. I see a lot of stocks setting up, but they just need more time. Builders, another one. This one is, made that high of 156 after earnings August 2nd. And, it's sliced its 50, regained it, sliced it again, regained it. And so this is just kind of chopping around. And if you're trying to trade that thing back and forth, that thing's likely to chop you up. So if you're holding it, it looks okay. I would like to see it get above the 50, but it looks to me like it's just forming a base here and just needs more time. Like I say, from August 2nd to September 12th is not long enough for a quality base. I'm going to stop here at Adobe and Netflix. These are what I call you have the Magnificent Seven, but if you include these, are the Divine Nine. And this is 552 here on the 31st of July. Now it forms this little base and pulls back to the 21. They report earnings on Thursday, so that's looking a little better. Adobe looks better on the pullback, and Netflix just forming a base here. Once again, probably not enough time here. That's July 18th. So this is nearly 2 months here. So this is looking a little better. Pulled back to the 50 today, 433.20. Yeah. So very close pullback to the 50 there. Inverted hammer candle, I do not like that, but sometimes they end like this and people all get out, and then the next day they rebound higher. So Netflix is one that I'm watching for tomorrow. Anyway, that's it for me today. It was the inflation data probably moved the markets tomorrow. It was kind of a choppy tape, and I got one more thing in the honor of the great Steve Jobs. I got to point out the Sharknado, Shark Ninja household appliance. Whereas I guess this is for I don't know, home. I don't know. I don't use. I don't know. It's a Vitamix or something. Blenders, cleaning, cooking, food preparation. I really don't know much about Shark Ninja. But anyway, the stock looks good for the IPO. It undercut the IPO price, which is normal, and now it's forming this IPO base, and looks pretty good. It does have, real strong sales and earnings growth here. So there's, an IPO with strong sales and earnings. This is definitely one to write down and follow. This could be, I wouldn't say a big winner, but could be, lucrative. And the other one I want to point out is NXT. This one's been around a little longer, has a little more track history. This one, you can see it formed this IPO base, and it undercut the low of the IPO day, which is 28.51. came down here to 28.24, barely undercut the low, which is normal. Had this little kind of an IPO base, and then ran up, but this is really its first, what I would consider its first IPO base, and it looks pretty decent here. It's more than this one says 6 weeks. What's the date here? Okay, so this one needs more time too. That's only July 27th. So a lot of the stocks just need more time. So it's going to test your patience. It's going to test your discipline. If you have the ability to wait and be patient, I think you'll be rewarded. If you're going to try to get aggressive and try to be a hero and cowboy up in this market, you're probably going to get chopped up. Anyway, that's it for me today. I'll be back tomorrow and at mcstockcharts.com. We never give up.